Hi guys, I'm Seth. I'm a co-op here at FirstBuild, and I'm new to sourdough baking and all of the whole realm, but the other day I made my first loaf of bread in the oven there, and today I'm going to try making sourdough pretzels. So I'm going to be using the Sidekick to grow them out of starter I need for my pre-ferment, and it's Thursday and I want it to be ready by Monday. So I'm going to walk you through how to set it up to do that. Alright, so we're using auto mode and it's Thursday and I'm going to set it to be ready at 9 a.m. on Monday. So I've already programmed the time and day, so it already knows that it's Thursday around noon. I'm going to walk you through this. Just remember, it's a prototype, so this isn't exactly how our final product will be. Alright, so I'm going to choose auto mode on here, click into it, and then for the day, this is going to be the day that you want it ready by. So we're going to choose Monday, click that. And then I want it ready by 9 a.m. There we go. I'm going to grow about 200 grams and we'll just use the 33 we need for the pretzels and then keep the rest in so we can grow more from that. So now I have to add a starter seed of 14 grams. So we're going to need 14 grams of seed starter, so we're going to use our hand-fed starter. 14 grams is about a tablespoon, so we're just going to use this to measure it out. So now it's reminding me to fill the water and the flour, but I already did that. That's a summary of what's going to happen, and now I just have to hit start. So this is the great thing about auto mode. I won't have to touch it or mess with it, and it's going to keep the starter healthy and ready for us to bake with on Monday. So it's Monday and our Sidekick is done. It's made 200 grams of our starter, and then we're going to go ahead and make our pre-ferment for our pretzels. So I'm going to be combining these bread flour, water, and then our starter together. So let's start off with 33 grams of starter. It looks pretty good. It has been sitting for about an hour and a half, so maybe it's not as bubbly as it could be, but it'll be good for our uses. So now I'm going to add 71 grams of water to our mixture. And I'm going to add 71 grams of our bread flour to the mixture. I'm going to stir it around until it's combined and then cover it and leave it for 12 to 16 hours. So now all we have to do is let it rest out here on the counter for 12 to 16 hours, which means I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, we're back and our pre-ferment looks pretty good. So now we're going to mix all the ingredients to make the pretzel dough. And for this, the recipe book calls for a stand mixer, so we'll be using that. Alright, so let's add the starter first. So I'm going to be adding all of our pre-ferment from the previous day. Alright, so we're going to use the built-in scale in the mixer, so after each ingredient, I'm just going to zero it out up here. Next, we have 272 grams of our bread flour. Then we have 121 grams of warm water. Then we have our pre-measured tablespoon and a half of unsalted butter. A teaspoon and a quarter of salt. I'm surprised to see this, but it calls for 3 grams of yeast or 1 teaspoon, so I'm going to throw it in. The recipe then calls for us to mix on low until a shaggy dough forms for about 1 minute. I'm going to pause and scrape this flour down and then we'll keep going. So next we're going to increase the speed to medium-high and mix for about 5 minutes until the dough is smooth and elasticy. Alright, it's been 5 minutes and it looks great, so I'm going to go ahead and cover this and let it rest for an hour. Alright, so our dough has rested and risen and it's time to pre-shape. I've never pre-shaped a tube, so we'll see how this goes. gonna try to gently put this on my work surface without deflating it. I'm gonna divide it into 6 pieces, one for each pretzel. So I'm trying to shape this into a round, roughly, so then I can move to the tube pre-shape. And the directions say to press it out into a round and then to fold the edges in and then fold the top down 3 times. But this is my first time, so. And we're gonna let these rest seam side down. So now we're gonna cover these and let them rest for 20 minutes, then we'll come back for final shaping. So the next step, now that our dough has rested and been pre-shaped, is I'm going to roll each one of these out into an 18-inch log and then go back through and then roll it into a 24-inch log. So the book says to start by rolling just in the middle with one hand to slowly create an almost dog bone-like shape. And then it says to use 2 hands and roll while you spread your hands apart. That's about right for me. So starting with the one that I started with, so the first one I did, I'm gonna go back through and extend them from the 18 inches to 24 inches. This allows the dough to have some time to rest before I try to spread it out farther. They're all rolled out to about 20 to 24 inches. So the next step is going to be folding the traditional pretzel shape. So to do that, we're gonna create a U, and then we're gonna twist that over twice on itself and then fold it back and push down the edges. So that's my very first pretzel. I've got 5 more chances to make it. That one's a little small. So now I'm gonna place our shaped pretzels onto this baking sheet and they'll rest covered for an hour in the fridge. So our pretzels have firmed up in the refrigerator and now I'm starting a mixture of water and baking soda and we're gonna boil the pretzels in this to firm them up. They're gonna boil in this for 20 seconds on each side. After these get cooked in the water, they're gonna go on the sheet and then go into the oven for 25 minutes. Wow, so the pretzels came out and they look great, so let's give them a taste. It's pretty good. It's a little crunchy on the outside, but it's still very soft on the inside. The salt's about perfect. The flavor's good. I think I was expecting them, I think the taste is what I expected, but I think the outside's a little bit crunchier than I initially thought, but they're still very soft. So this is my first time making pretzels and only my second time baking with sourdough at all. And it was a really fun process. So if you want to see us bake something in one of these videos, let us know in the comments. And if you're a pretzel master, let me know how I did. We're going to keep coming out with more Sourdough Sidekick update videos and recipe videos. So stay tuned and we'll see you on the next one.